Hi guys, here's my suggestion. Let's make the quickest and easiest Lone Star you've ever seen, without a Y seam in sight. Ready? Let's go! Okay, so for that we will need 2 strips of 2.5-inch white fabric, 2 different fabrics at that, okay? Then we will need another 2 2.5-inch strips of the same fabric. So we've got 3 fabrics right here, right? And now for our background we will need 2 7.5-inch white squares and 4 7-inch white squares. So here's how we are going to start this. We are going to take one of our first strips and join it with one of the same fabric strips. Right sides together, and let's sew. And now we'll just repeat this step with the remaining 2 strips of fabric. Okay, so for our next step we are just going to press these 2 strips open. And this is a really big step because next comes our precision cutting and we don't want any seams getting in the way. So you'll really want to do this one, okay? Make sure your seam falls to the same side every time. Okay guys, next step is getting our ruler and finding that 45 angle we just keep using for our cutting, right? We've used this a couple of times. So we just line it up and then we are going to start to cut, okay? I'm left-handed, so this isn't the best position for me. Okay, now for this step, you may want to turn your fabric around, but since I'm left-handed, I'm just going to keep it in this position. Now we are going to cut 2.5-inch pieces of our fabric while keeping our 45-degree angle at all times, okay? So 1, 2.5, and now we cut. And we will just need 8 pieces from each strip. And you know what? I love making star quilt blocks, I really do, but I'm also well aware that you need to be on point with your cutting skills here, you know, if you're going to make them. There are a lot of other designs that have a lot of wiggle room, but for stars, if we want all the pieces to meet just right, you know, all the corners to match, the angle needs to be there, and so does the cutting. So this is actually the step you need to pay most attention to, okay? And as you cut, always check that 45-degree angle, and you know, if you've gone off it, just correct it and then keep going, okay? For now, we are good to go. Okay, so now that we have our 16 pieces right here, we can start to assemble our puzzle. My favorite part, in case you haven't noticed. So we take one of each piece, so we just put one on top of the other and we make sure that there is a little bit hanging out, because here's the thing, we want our intersections to meet, but we want them to meet when they're sewn. So it's not like this, it's like 1/4 inch in, and you can actually, you know, draw a line there to make sure that's where they need to meet, if that makes it better for you. I'm just going to really try and eyeball it. Okay, so this, I can feel the meeting right there, right at the 1/4 inch. So I think I've got this. Let's see if I'm right. Moment of truth, and there you go. Like I said, I could feel the meeting at about 1/4 inch, but if you can't feel it, which is totally normal, you know, I do this so much more often than you, then you can just go ahead and like measure 1/4, because we're using our 1/4 inch foot, measure 1/4, make a marking and make sure the intersections meet at that marking, okay? Because this is important, they need to meet, so you'll get this effect. Let me show you what happens if you, I've actually sewn one where the intersections meet at the edge, and this is what you get. Not cool. You see, there is no X. So the intersections need to meet over at 1/4 inch, not the edge, okay? Let me try and make one where we make sure those intersections meet where they should, okay? So I just get my ruler, so 1/4 would be here. Let's just make a tiny little marking, like so. You see, now I know this is where it's supposed to meet. So I go over here and I try to feel my way. They have to meet right there. And you can see, you know, there's a little left over here and here. So that's a sign you've got them right where you want them. And here we go. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so now that our 8 pieces are ready, we are going to work on our white background squares. We get these largest squares, the 2 largest squares, and we just cut them into 4 triangles, okay? And again, you know, just take your time and make sure to do this right. We need precision here, okay? And you can cut 2 at a time, but for me personally, I am so distraction prone. I'd much rather do 1 at a time, and you know, there aren't that many of them, so it's fine. I prefer to do them calmly 1 at a time to make sure everything is as best as I can make it. And now for the smaller 7-inch squares, we are just going to cut them in half, you know, into 2 triangles each, okay? And then after we do this, we are ready to assemble our star. So let's assemble our lovely quilt blocks. So we have 2 points right here, and I can tell you right now, this is going to be a huge quilt block. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take 2 of the big triangles and place them right here. Okay, so now that this is done, we are taking 2 small triangles and we are going to place them here. And you can see this is a diagonal square, but it's still a square, right? So one like this and the other one like this. Be right back. So here's one bit, here's the other bit, and now you know what comes next. We sew the straight line together, just one straight line, no Y seams required as promised. And all you need to keep in mind really is that you want your seams to be nested into one another, you know, to make sure it's all nice and straight. You can trim off anything else, but the seams really do need to be nested, because if not, it will show. No pressure. So now that they're nice and nested, we are just going to sew. And then once that's done, this is what you get. 1/4 of your star. Let's just go ahead and do the rest, and I will be right back. Okay guys, you know what comes next, right? Next, we will assemble our awesome star by sewing these 4 squares together. Okay guys, so this is arguably, well not arguably, it is the biggest quilt block I've ever made. It is a gorgeous star. I love it. I love it so much that I am turning it into a pillow. I mean, you know that's what I do, right? I do a quilt block, it's big enough, I love it, I turn it into a pillow. It is what it is. Okay, so I have this nice little polka dot, it's the same as this one. Nice little polka dot fabric right here to turn this into the backing. I'm just going to do a little seam on each end, you know, and that would be, you know, the part that's going to show once the pillow is complete. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to pipe it. I'm not going to do anything crazy. You know, this star really is the star of this pillow. Can't wait to see how it ends. And I did not do this on purpose, but this is perfect for a 20-inch pillow, which is the kind of insert I happen to have. And I'm just so happy when this stuff happens. You know, it's like these videos just take a life of their own and do their own thing. Those are my favorite kind. They really are. Okay, now all there's left to do is sew all around it. Let's pin it to make sure it doesn't move, and soon enough we will be finished. And now that our pillow cover is done, we just need to turn it inside out and of course add our pillow insert. Oh, so cute. Loving it already. Okay, so now all we need to do is place the pillow insert inside our cover, and this will look even nicer if we added some batting to our pillow cover, something like that. and quilted it, oh, it would look so gorgeous, guys, so gorgeous. And here we go. This is our pillow, nice and ready. All our angles match. And here we go, guys. Our Lone Star became a pillow and I absolutely love it. And quite unexpected, but I guess, you know, those are the best kind of videos as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for doing this with me, and I will see you really, really soon. Bye bye!